This village has existed in my Minecraft article world for over 3 years, so it's finally time to transform it and the surrounding area. But to begin, I'm going to have to destroy all of these houses. Luckily, as they're made with very basic materials, it shouldn't take too long. That is definitely not what you want to see when destroying a village. Pillagers. Luckily, as of 1.21, they're really easy to handle with, as they just drop an ominous bottle now, so you don't even need to worry about getting bad omen anymore. But there we go, I've done some progress on destroying the village. I think I've destroyed 4 or 5 houses already, which isn't too bad. I didn't realise there were this many houses though, I'll be honest. And one of the main reasons I'm actually destroying this village is due to it preventing me from terraforming any further. I've terraformed this whole savanna biome. As we look underground, that's the normal level it would be at, and I've just extended all of this grass upwards. But right now I can't extend any further due to this village being in the way, which is the main reason why I'm destroying it today, as well as rebuilding a much better village on top of it. And also because I've wanted to transform this village for over 3 years now, so it makes sense to finally be doing it. And despite only destroying 5 houses, I'm already on my second shulker box of materials, which is actually quite a good way to gather materials, although I'm not going to need many of these materials at all for the village I have in mind. Anyway, it's time to continue destroying this village. One of the coolest parts about this village is the fact that there are actually 2 zombie villages right here, which I believe were the original villagers from this village. Pretty sure these are the only ones alive now, as a lot have died in the past, including maybe a couple by me. I can't exactly remember. But my plan for later on in today's video is to revive these guys, as well as bring loads of villagers from my villager breeder over there, in order to repopulate this brand new village. I'll also have to light up the area, as destroying those houses has made it so much darker. And as I've lit up most of my hardcore world, a lot more hostile mobs will begin to spawn. Luckily though, I did find an iron golem in one of the houses I destroyed, so he could potentially protect the area for now. Another thing I'll have to do to this village is just get rid of all this dirt path. I think the quickest way is just to till it with my hoe, as it has no access to water, which means it will just turn to dirt, and then eventually grass will spread back onto it. It's probably the most effective way, to be honest. Otherwise, I'm going to have to place loads of blocks on top of the path and then remove it. I think this way, it's a lot quicker. As I don't really need dirt path, because honestly, I don't really like the look of it. But I will be using a coarse dirt path later on, obviously, to connect all the buildings up together. And obviously, I've got some more plans for this village as well, including loads of custom trees, as well as collecting some mobs that I've not actually collected in this world before. But in the meantime, I guess I'm going to continue destroying this village. I would continue turning all of the dirt path into farmland, however it started to rain, which means all of the farmland can begin to hydrate, meaning it won't go away unless it stops raining. So we could try and sleep, I guess. Nope, can't do that. That means all of it's going to turn back into farmland, which is really annoying. So I guess we can leave that for now, and I guess we might as well destroy a few more village houses. One thing I will do though is just empty the shulker boxes back into my storage room, as I don't really want to be carrying 2 full shulker boxes. And to be fair, we got a decent amount of wood from it. It's time once again to destroy this village. And if you're enjoying today's video, make sure to subscribe, as I've got a lot more to do. Something I've just discovered about this village house I've just destroyed is the fact that it's got an original loot chest in it. I've, for some reason, never taken these 3 oak saplings, these 2 bits of bread, or this feather. But I guess now I have. Wow, I can't believe I never looted that. Especially because when I started this world, I spawned up on that mountain, went down and explored the village over there, mined some iron, slept, and then went to this village right here, and for some reason just didn't collect all the loot for some reason. Or the bell is still here, and actually I'm not going to be removing this well. In fact, I'm going to be redesigning it later on in today's video as the center of my village. I can't believe that. The zombie villagers have just been killed by the iron golem. I didn't even realize the iron golem would go out its way to kill the zombie villagers. That is so annoying. I wanted to have like the original villagers left in the world. I guess I can't anymore, thanks to this stupid iron golem. Oh well, it's not like I'm running low on villagers or anything. I literally have so many villagers in that villager breeder, if I look in the area, it becomes significantly more laggy compared to anywhere else I look. Still very annoying that I can't keep the 2 original villagers anymore. Unless maybe there are some in the building? I highly doubt it. Nope. Oh wow, some more original stuff, some leather armor. In case I need that. I really don't, I've got full netherite armor. I actually didn't realize how many of these village houses still had chests left in them. So what does this one have? Some acacia wood, an acacia sign. I don't know why I'd have an acacia sign. It's not something I would really build with. What would I have been naming? Is there something around there? Around my spawn area with acacia? I don't think so. That's actually really strange. I should probably go and have a look. Yeah, that's strange. The area where I built my, sort of first chest and it's actually got my first tools in, doesn't have an acacia sign anywhere. So if anyone knows why there's an acacia sign, let me know in the comments. I actually can't remember at all. Anyway, it's time to continue destroying this village. And there we go, the whole village has now been destroyed, and honestly, it looks so strange just there not being any village houses here at all. I'm just so used to it over the 3 years that I've played in this world. However, it has left loads of really bad looking terrain, like there's random pits in the ground, and also it has allowed me to continue terraforming up to over that area, so I can be done with this giant terraforming project. So that's the next thing I have to get done, placing loads of grass blocks, and then we can start working on the brand new village. And I'll also remove these village lamps as honestly they don't look very good. It's now once again time to start placing in loads more grass blocks. That's over a shulker box of grass blocks now placed in, and whilst it does look good, there are a lot of areas, specifically like this bit, which don't look amazing. So I think now I want to go through and just flatten lots of this out and just make it look a whole lot nicer. There we go, that's all the terraforming done, and I think this area looks a whole lot better now. And it seems like we've got another pillager patrol, which is definitely annoying, especially because I plan to build a village right here. But then again, I'm not sure if they do spawn once villagers are in the local area, or at least I'm pretty sure they won't anymore. I should probably also light the area up. That would probably help a lot. I'm also very glad I did all of that terraforming, as I basically gained all the grass blocks and dirt blocks back that I'd already used. I'm now back in my starter base, as I quickly want to go under my bed and grab out a couple of stacks of frog light, just to spawn proof the area, as I really hate dealing with hostile mobs. Plus, it will make sure no zombies spawn for when I repopulate the village later on. This still looks so strange without a village as well. Can't wait to actually start building up the brand new village. I think it's going to end up looking so good. I definitely need to light up under the terraforming as well, otherwise there's going to be a lot of hostile mobs, which are probably, oh no, it doesn't look like there are any at the minute, which is very good. Luckily, I can use a mini hut mod to see exactly where I do need to spawn proof. After I lit up the entire area, I decided to do a bit more terraforming, such as raising this grass up a level, as well as terraforming what was a hill here, just to flatten it as it looks a lot nicer, and also just leaves loads more space we could do some building on later on. I've also planned out where the first few village houses are going to be with these dirt path plans on the ground, and I think we need to start building. And luckily, I've gathered all the resources needed for the first build, which is going to be our water fountain for the center of this village. And luckily, this is going to be a very easy build. I'll take the bell away from it, and I just need to get rid of these torches. And it's actually really simple. I just need to start by adding some mud stairs along like this. There we go. And then I can add some packed mud in places. We'll also do a bit more variation by adding in some mud bricks as well. Add the bell here. I want to add a flower pot with a flowering azalea right here. 3 candles here, 2 candles there. And then we can fill in this bottom bit with some mud and muddy mangrove roots. We can get rid of this cobblestone and gravel and replace it with a mud brick, packed mud, 2 mud brick walls, a lightning rod, and then we can waterlog it simply like that. And then we can get some buttons and add them on the outside for a little bit more detail, as well as the fact you can press the button and it will ring the bell. And then we can add a little bit of seagrass in, although these aren't actually water sources right here, as you can see. So we can do just something like this with the ice. That should make it all water sources. So we can add a couple of sea pickles there, sea pickle there, and I guess we'll just add grass along like this. There we go, a very simple fountain design. I think it looks very good though. I also added a lightning rod on top, as this was the village I first got the surge protector advancement from, which involves getting a lightning rod struck by lightning in a village. So I thought, just a little nod back to that, we might as well add it to this well. It's actually now a thunderstorm, so all we need to do is place a copper lightning rod in a village and get surge protector. One last detail I will obviously do is just light these candles, so a little bit more light is around this area. But with the center of a village now planned out, I think it's time to build one of the first houses. And for that, I'm going to need a lot of building materials. And I am using the Light Matica mod, so this is all of the resources that I'm going to need. And yeah, there's quite a few. And there we go, that's 2 shulker boxes now filled up with materials, as it's time to build up the first house of this brand new village. And honestly, this is one of my favourite block palettes that I've used for a village. If you want to support me and my channel, consider becoming a channel member. This way you get to see previews of upcoming videos, as well as being able to share your video ideas. Members will be featured inside my Minecraft world by being written into a book, and for $5.99 a month, you can be named after a mob inside my world. Simply press the join button or the link in the description. And there we go, that's the first village house built, and I really like the design of this one. I really like what I've done here with the pale moss and the pale moss carpet. And obviously we've got the beginnings of a path which is going to lead around this area, all around the fountain, and to different points around this village. Now, one thing all villagers need is a food source, and whilst I will be building some crop fields later on, I want to build up some animal pens first, and I think right by this first house will be a great place. So all I need to do is just place some stone in sort of a rough circle. I think this sort of outline will look good. Yeah, I think that will be a good size for like a pig pen maybe. And there we go. Obviously this is missing a few details. I want to add some like coarse dirt and mud inside, as well as loads of custom trees, which we'll get onto later. As well as the fact that I'm missing some pigs. However, I don't want to fly around this area to collect pigs, as I'm sort of bored of seeing all the same old pink ones around. And as this village is right next to a savannah, I think it's best if we collect some new warm pigs. But to collect some warm pigs, I'll need to head off to a further away savannah biome, where I've already found a load of warm mobs. And here I am back in the savannah. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you may have remembered when I updated my game to the Spring to Life drop 1.21.5 and just explored out this way in order to find some of the mobs, such as these warm chickens. They look like they've laid an egg actually, which I will take with me, as I do want to collect some later on. And I created this little research area just to sort of collect some new items. But I'm here for the warm pigs, and I did just see one right there. Hopefully there'll be a few more around though. So luckily I've got some leads on me. We'll grab this guy and we can just see if there's any more around. I actually can't see many, and maybe we'll try and collect some cows later on as well. Although if I remember correctly, they're a lot further out than these pigs were. Although it doesn't seem like there's many pigs around in general. There we go, there's some warm pigs. Okay, yeah, there's quite a few around this area, which is quite nice. One of the best parts about the Chase Disguise drop is the fact that I can just untie this pig from this fence, and all the leads will actually just go into my hand straight away, which is really useful. Have any chickens laid any more eggs? No, doesn't look like it. We'll have to come back to this area later on then. But I'm going to try now and get these pigs through the portal. It might be just slightly easier if I just turn a lot of this into obsidian, because I don't really want to get a load of cooked pork chops right now. I've got enough. Luckily, they should all just go through the portal. There's one. Are they going to be annoying? Like that. Why is he up there? Why is my pig now floating? I don't think pigs are supposed to float. Let's just go through here. Go on. And one more pig to pull through the portal. Now I simply need to drag all these pigs back across the nether roof to get them to my village. Somehow I've managed to lose a few leads in the process, but I now have warm pigs back into my main area of this hardcore world, which is crazy because this hardcore world is so old, so it's never actually had these mob variants spawning. But it's really cool that we now have them, although I'm at the top of a mountain, so I've got to carefully maneuver my way down and avoid any of these pigs dying, as right now they're very rare. I've not properly got them yet, so I'm going to try and keep these ones alive, and then maybe eventually we could reintroduce these into the overworld. But there we go, I finally have these warm pigs collected inside my hardcore world, despite the update being out for almost 4 months at this point. But there we go. Yeah, these guys look so cool. I really like the warm pigs. We'll definitely need to breed them as well, but I'll also decorate the area around them as well. And now I want to see how lucky I can get. Can I spawn a chicken in with its brown egg? Because just throughout this video, every time I picked up an egg, I've just thrown it on the ground, and we've just been getting loads of chickens spawning in. So can I just get lucky and get a warm chicken? No, of course I can't. Why would I? Oh well, I've got myself a couple of carrots, so I'll just feed it to all of these pigs, just so they're all bred up, which means I can slowly expand this population. I think it'd be a cool idea just to eventually release a few in the savannah, just so I have these warm pigs just accessible at all times. Anyway, pig shenanigans out of the way, I think it's time to build up a few more houses, as the whole point of today's video is to be building a giant village. I should probably get on with building some more features of this village, as I plan on it being a lot bigger than this one house and this pig pen for now. Anyway, it's now time to gather up all of the resources that I'm going to need. And there we go, I've gathered up 2 shulker boxes worth of materials so we can start building up the next house. And if I just look at this shulker box quickly, and then zoom out, the building is done. And honestly, I'm a massive fan of this house. I love the oak on the top, and it actually has room inside for 2 villagers. Obviously, I do need to do this little bit of floor. Completely forgot about that. But I forgot to mention earlier, this house also has room for a couple of villagers. So later on in the video, we will be transporting some villagers, or attempting to at least. Luckily, I do have loads down there, as I mentioned earlier. So it shouldn't be too difficult to get loads of villagers in. So I can have some living in the houses, and then some just roaming this area. Honestly, I also think these houses really fit in the area. And I have started laying out some leaves just for where I plan to build some fields. And I'm thinking for this area, I mainly want to do wheat fields, just because it sort of makes sense with the mud brick roofs, as you'll need wheat to craft mud. But maybe I'll do like a potato one here, just so I can always breed up these pigs, as I've been expanding them slowly, and there's quite a few of them now. Also, I should probably build somewhere for loads of these cats to go, as these are some of the original cats to this village, so I think they deserve a home. In fact, we'll take this guy here, and I guess we'll move him into this house. If you have any name suggestions, let me know in the comments. Let's just move him in here. Now, I don't know if these bunk beds will actually work with villagers. I haven't actually properly tested it. I don't know. I just assume it might do. They should link to it at least. Maybe he can't get in, but oh well. I then decided to build up a few more crop fields to give the future villagers a source of food. And I think they look really nice. I love the details I've added as well with the wheat fields, adding some short and tall dry grass. I think that looks good. There are a couple of firefly bushes in there just for some extra detail. I've also bred up a load of pigs, as well as placing loads of fences and wall blocks around the area, as that's where I want to build up some custom trees in a bit. However, next up I want to build a couple more village houses, which means it's time to gather even more resources. And there we go, that's 3 shulker boxes full of all the materials that we need. And there we go, another village house has been built up, and all I need to do to finish it is just light these 3 candles in here. I really like the look of this one. I love the interior I've done. It has room for 2 villagers, and the best part is villagers can't escape because you have to crouch to get out of the door. But despite that house now being built up, we're still nowhere near done. I've still got 3 houses to build, as well as loads of custom trees and animal pens, as well as connecting all of these village houses together with paths, as well as actually adding villagers to this area. As you just saw, I did build up a few more animal pens. We've got this one here for cows, that one over there for sheep, and I also added in some trapdoors just past this fountain here, up against what's going to be one of the next houses I built, as this will be a little chicken coop area. As a fun fact about trapdoors, chickens won't actually be able to jump over these. And we can see that in this part of my Minecraft hardcore world, as I've got a chicken coop here, and they can't escape, which is very good. However, I could just take these eggs and use them, but I need some warm chickens instead. But I'll be collecting the warm chickens as well as the warm cows in a bit, as I think I want to build some more around this area first, and then start collecting all the mobs we need. So now it's time to build some more custom trees, and actually I'm introducing a new species of tree into my world using some tough walls, as well as mangrove and acacia leaves. There we go, that's lots of the new custom trees built in, and I really like the look of them. I also built a few in the plains, although they are mainly for the savannah area. But now I filled my inventory up with loads of andesite walls and oak fences, as it's time to build even more custom trees. That's all the oak trees now built in, and I really like the look of them. They just make this area now feel much more complete, despite missing 3 houses and a path still. But we'll get to that, don't worry. And now it's time to build loads of the andesite trees. But first, this dandelion looks really nice. I love this sort of yellow texture on it. That looks really cool. I mean, that orange pixel just looks so cool. And oh, the trees are done. Okay, you really can't see many here, but there's one there. Got one there. We can fly up. We've got a few more in the back, but honestly, this area just looks so much better with all of these custom trees now added in. But now it's time to actually expand the village by adding in some more houses. After spending almost half an hour collecting resources, I could finally build up the next house. And I'm now on day 2700, and we're actually in the savannah biome, as I was just waiting around for these chickens to lay some eggs, so I can more easily, oh perfect, another egg. So I can more easily add some of these chickens into the area, as I don't really want to have to drag them back across the nether, like I'll have to do with these cows I've just collected. Don't ask where the other cow went. But I've got 2 warm cows now, which I'll be able to transport back. I'm not going to bother with sheep, just because I can just get them from a nearby meadow, and all I would need to do is dye them anyway. So I guess I'll wait around a bit, just for these chickens to lay a few more eggs, so we can hopefully just spawn a couple of warm chickens back at base, without having to transport chickens as well as his cows. After a while of just sitting around waiting for these chickens, I've managed to get a total of 16 eggs, which hopefully will be enough, as it's now time to drag these 2 cows back to my base to populate the village even further. And here we are back in the village with some warm cows, which is great to finally have in this part of the world, as I had to travel pretty far to get these guys, but I'm glad I can just now get them and breed them infinitely right by my base. And now it's time to see if I get lucky with these eggs. Hopefully we spawn at least a couple of chickens in them and I can just continue breeding them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go, 1 chicken. Oh, 2. Can we get 1 more? Or 4 from 1 egg, that would be nice. Okay, 2 chickens, I can't really complain about that, that's all we really needed. One thing I definitely don't need is any more pigs, as I've bred them up a lot just as I've been making this video, and it feels like they're sort of starting to make my world lag a little bit, so maybe we'll have to release these guys at some point. But distractions aside, I should probably build the final 2 houses for this village. However, first I will just grab a couple of these sheep from a mountain, so I can populate the final animal pen. And there we go, the 2 sheep added into the sheep pen, which means I've now have all the animals for this village. Except the actual villagers, although they don't really count as animals, but we'll sort that out later on. One thing I definitely will be doing as well is just breeding up all these mobs in the background, as for the sheep it's a great way to get wool, and also for warm cows it's just nice to have a new sort of mob roaming my world. So I'll definitely breed these guys up. Also they do look really cool, I love the horn design these cows have. But instead of getting distracted, let's build another house. There we go, that's the next house finally added in, which means we've only got 1 more building to add to this village, and then obviously we just need to connect everything up with paths, and then add in all the villagers. And although this is a very simple design, I really like the look of it. It's literally just this house here with a wooden tower removed to just add some more variation to the village. Sort of inspired off of default Minecraft villages, as lots of the time they have sort of very similar looking houses anyway, so I thought might as well make them all look fairly similar, which is why the last one is going to be very similar to this building. But it means that once again I'm going to have to spend half an hour gathering resources, which is always so fun. But at least I can get that done and then not have to worry about adding in any more houses to this village, which is a pretty exciting thought, so I better continue and gather some resources. Oh, no more chickens. So once again, it's time to place down shulker boxes and start gathering all of the materials for the final house. And there we go, with 3 shulker boxes full of all the resources I'm going to need, I can finally build the final house for this village. Cross my name off the list. This is without rhyme or reason. And there we go, the final house has been added in. And I also added a wheat field to the side because the area looked really boring and I think it deserved at least 1 more wheat field, and I think that looks really good. Got some firefly bushes around. And I've also added the first mob to this village. No, it's not that wandering trader over there who had rubbish trades. It's actually inside of this house here. We've got a pillager who doesn't have a crossbow, as I sat in a boat for about 20 minutes waiting for him to break his crossbow. But we've got Passive Pete the pillager. No idea how the villager's going to react to him. Probably be terrified, to be honest. But we've got a cool untamed pillager. That's the first time I've ever got one of those. And he'll literally just, I guess, just roam around here. I'm always surprised this is an actual mob as well. I'm surprised they don't just go and hit you after their crossbow breaks. I believe like if a piglin's crossbow breaks, they just end up punching you. It's a bit strange that this pillager won't do anything to me, but it's quite a cool mob to have. Anyway, now that all the houses have been built, it's time to connect all these village houses up with a path. And I'm very glad I have a load of coarse dirt. Just realised I'm going to need some spruce slabs as well. And that's the entire village now connected up with paths, and obviously it is quite basic, especially when we look around the houses where I have detailed already with rooted dirt and packed mud. I think I'll go through eventually and just start adding that in, but that can be done another day, as I've been recording this video for nearly a month now, although maybe looking around it doesn't seem like it. I've still been taking a lot of breaks, I've not been playing every day, but I still want to get this video done, so I want to add some villagers to this area. So we can do all of the proper detailing at some other point, or I'll just do it off camera or something. So I think now it's time to collect some villagers. And to actually transform the villagers, I'm going to be using my Happy Ghast, as it's the newest mob in the game, and its sort of whole purpose is to transport mobs around. Although it's very slow, so it'll take me a while to get there, but I'm just going to attach a load of boats to this Happy Ghast to take them over to the village. And we can actually see the village come into view after we pass this sort of windmill area. And yeah, this looks so cool from a distance. Yeah, I really like the look of this village. Love the way it turned out. Alright, I should be somewhere near the villager breeder with his happy ghast at this point. So I'll just hop off him and fly down here, as I did gather a shulker box full of boats to actually put some villagers in. Although we probably won't need that many. I'll make sure to grab some leads out of my shulker box quickly, which also we won't need that many of. Yeah, 12 should probably be fine. And now I can finally start letting villagers out my villager breeder. If you notice, as we get down here, it becomes so laggy. And that is because there are so many villagers trapped in here. So I guess we just let them out. That's probably best, right? Let's start by adding some boats around, just so they can just immediately start getting in. Okay, let's just see what happens when we break this one dirt block. Look how many villagers there are in there. Like, just looking, there may be like over 100. Ready? Okay. Yeah, they've all started to shoot out. So we'll just start placing boats around and just see how many I can pick up. And any that do just escape will probably just end up dying eventually, I guess. Alright, so what I'll do is just lower this happy ghast down this hole. And then just lead up all the boats, I guess. Attach it to the happy ghast and fly out of here. I really hope this works. There we go. So we have a happy ghast hot air balloon. That looks so crazy. And it's flying off away from me. Alright, I just need to jump on top of it. Drag all of these villagers. No idea how many there are. And remember, if you do want to name one of these villagers, consider becoming a channel member. Anyway, let's fly out of this hole. Up we go with all of these villagers who have been trapped in the villager breeder for months. These guys have probably not seen the sky. Probably before, to be honest. Do we get them all out? We do. Wow, we've got a happy ghast hot air balloon. I'm going to zoom my FOV all the way out so we can actually see. This is quite cool. Wow. And hopefully that should help fix the lag in the world. Let's just get above this village. There's definitely not enough beds in this area for the villagers, so half of them will just be wandering around forever. Half of them will probably end up dead, but oh well. Let's just lower ourselves. It looks like they're all sort of linking to beds and things now. Okay, here we are. We're above. Now, do I just... Yep, we can snip the leads off. Wow, we just have a massive pile of villagers in boats. So I guess... just break all the boats. Oh, I've just murdered a villager. Oh, I'm about to murder another. Oh, I've just murdered another. Whoops. I hope I don't need to trade with these guys anytime soon. There. And there. We've now got villagers roaming around this village. Finally. Yeah, hopefully they will find themselves some workstations. I'll probably just end up decorating it off camera. Just like adding some grass in, adding some different workstations, maybe some market stands. And also letting them in some of the houses. Like, that one is not accessible to villagers. Nor is that one where Passive Pete lives. But maybe that one's for the best. And I guess for all the other villagers around this area, we can just let them despawn for now. If I need more, I can once again activate the villager breeder. It is now day 2729 and I've added a few more details onto this village. For example, we've just got some random decorations around here, like a couple of log piles. I've added in a potato field right here, as well as a market stand with a farmer villager inside, which I am able to trade pumpkins to. And also melons as well. So stay tuned for the next hardcore episode, as I've got a big plan for this farmer villager, as well as loads more different villagers. But there we go, I'm now happy to say that this village is completed. And just to remember, this is what it looked like at the beginning of today's video. And here it is now. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe and let me know what you want to see me do next inside of this hardcore world.